There is a line on your bank statement this month that you have almost certainly never read. It is small. It is usually between $2 and $5. It has a boring name like statement delivery or account service. And if you are like most people over 60, it has been sitting there quietly for years, pulling money out of an account you thought was free. Here is the part that will bother you. Until last year, there was a federal rule coming that would have capped one of the worst of these charges at $5. That rule was killed in May of 2025. Congress voted it down, and the president signed the repeal. The protection you may have heard about on the news is gone, and it is not coming back in the same form. So the job of protecting your money just moved. It moved from Washington to your kitchen table. Today, I am going to walk you through 6 fees that hit older Americans hardest, ranked from the ones you probably suspect all the way down to the one almost nobody catches. Then I am going to give you 2 sentences you can say on the phone that get most of this money back. The last one is the reason I made this video, because it is the fee that specifically targets the way seniors bank, and almost no one talks about it. Let's start. Number 6. The monthly maintenance fee that used to be waived. This is the one most people know exists. What they do not know is how much the rules changed underneath them. According to Bankrate's 2025 checking account study, the average monthly fee on a basic, non-interest checking account is $5.47. That is about $65 a year. If you have an interest-bearing checking account, the average jumps to $15.65 a month, and the average balance you need to keep in order to avoid that fee is now $10,705. Read that number again, $10,000 sitting in a checking account earning almost nothing just to avoid a $15 fee. Now here is the quiet part. For decades, many banks waived that fee automatically once you hit a certain age. 55 at some banks, 62 or 65 at others. Those programs have been disappearing. The 4 largest banks in the country, Chase, Bank of America, Citibank, and Wells Fargo, no longer offer a dedicated senior checking account at all. Nobody sends a letter when a program like that ends. The fee just starts appearing. Number 5. The out-of-network ATM fee. If you pull cash from a machine that is not your bank's, you now pay an average of $4.86. That is a record high, and it has gone up 3 years in a row. What makes it sneaky is that it is 2 separate charges stacked on top of each other. The machine's owner takes about $3.22. Then, your own bank quietly adds about $1.64 on the back end, and that second charge does not show up on the screen when you are standing there. Twice a month, that is around $117 a year to access your own money. Number 4. Dormancy and inactivity fees. A lot of retirees keep a second account, a rainy day account, a burial fund, an account with a grandchild's name on it. You put money in and you leave it alone. That is the whole point. Many banks charge between $5 and $10 a month once an account goes untouched for a set period, often 12 months. There is no letter, there is no phone call, and because you are not looking at that account, you do not notice. A small account can be drained down to nothing over a few years by a fee that exists purely because you were disciplined enough not to spend the money. Worth checking this week if you have an account you have not logged into recently. Number 3. Overdraft, and what happened to the rule that would have fixed it. The average overdraft fee is now $26.77, and 94% of accounts still charge one. Some of the largest banks charge up to $35 per item. Here is the timeline you need to know. In December of 2024, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau finalized a rule capping overdraft fees at $5 for large banks, set to take effect October 1st of 2025. It was estimated to save Americans up to $5 billion a year. In March and April of 2025, both chambers of Congress voted to repeal it, and on May 9, 2025, the repeal was signed into law. Because of how that repeal works, the agency cannot simply write a similar rule again. It would take a new act of Congress. Now, I want to be honest with you about something, because you deserve accuracy and not fear. Seniors overdraft far less than younger people. The Federal Reserve's 2024 Household Survey found that 16% of adults aged 18 to 29 paid an overdraft fee, compared to just 6% of adults 60 and older. So, overdraft is probably not your fee, but there are two cousins of it that absolutely are, and that is where this gets specific. Number 2, the overdraft protection transfer fee and the sustained overdraft fee. This is the trap that catches careful people. You did the responsible thing. You linked your savings account to your checking account so that if you ever came up short, the money would just move across and cover it. Sensible, except most banks charge you between $10 and $12.50 every single time that transfer happens. You are being charged a fee to move your own money from your own savings into your own checking. And then there is the sustained overdraft fee. If your account stays negative for around 5 to 7 days, some banks add another charge on top, up to about $40. So a shortfall on a Thursday becomes a much larger number by the following week, entirely because of the calendar. If you have overdraft protection linked up, call and ask what the transfer fee is. A lot of banks waive it if the shortfall is under $50, and a few have eliminated it completely. Number 1, the fees you pay for banking like a human being. This is the one I wanted you to hear. There is a cluster of charges that exist almost entirely because of how older customers prefer to bank, and they are rarely explained clearly. Paper statements, $2 to $5 a month at many banks, so up to $60 a year for the simple act of wanting a piece of paper you can file in a drawer. Teller assistance. Some budget accounts now charge around $5 for a transaction a teller handled that could have been done at an ATM. You are paying for talking to a person. Wire transfers, $25 online at most large banks, but $35 to $40 if you walk into the branch and ask someone to do it for you. Same wire, same money, $10 more because you did it in person. And account closure. If you consolidate accounts, which most people do at some point for estate planning, some banks charge $25 to $50 if the account is closed within a set window, often 180 days. None of this is illegal. It is all in the fee schedule. The problem is that Pew found account disclosures average 69 pages, and a U.S. PIRG survey of nearly 400 bank branches found that only 38% handed over the fee schedule easily when asked, and 23% never provided it at all. That is the actual story, not a secret fee, a fee buried where almost nobody will find it. So here is what to do about it. First, pull 3 months of statements and look for any line that is not zero. That is your whole audit. It takes 15 minutes. Second, call your bank and ask exactly 2 questions. Question 1, do I qualify for an age-based fee waiver on this account? Question 2, will you waive this month's fee as a courtesy? Banks routinely waive fees for customers who simply ask, and most people never ask. The average American keeps the same checking account for 19 years, which is exactly how a small monthly charge turns into thousands of dollars. Third, know your options if the answer is no. PNC waives its monthly service charge automatically at age 62. U.S. Bank waives it on Smartly Checking at 65. TD Bank has a 60-plus account. Regions has a 62-plus account. And if overdraft is your issue, Capital One 360, Ally, and Citibank have all eliminated overdraft fees entirely. One more thing, and this matters. If your Social Security is set up as a direct deposit, Federal rules automatically protect 2 months of those benefits from garnishment, but that automatic protection only applies to direct deposit. If you deposit a check by hand or move the money to another account, that shield weakens. Which brings up something that changed in September of 2025, when the Treasury stopped issuing most paper federal checks. If you or someone in your family is still adjusting to that switch, that is a bigger conversation, and it is the one I am covering next. Take the 15 minutes with those statements. I think you will find something.